In the 1930s, we in the U.S. realized that we could manage entire river basins, not just one single dam at a time, but dozens. So we began developing river basins on a vast scale.
Though beneficial to people, the dams on the Columbia River are damaging some of the river's original inhabitants, fish, and in particular, the region's salmon populations. Salmon hatch in the river, migrate to the ocean to mature, and return up the river to spawn. The dams present a huge obstacle to migration, particularly to the small juveniles, or fingerlings, heading out to sea.
At each dam, you have a very high percentage of juveniles dying, and it's additive. So if you're looking at 10 to 15% at each dam, you've already lost a really large chunk of your potential run size before it even goes to the ocean.
The natural tendency is, if you're generating power, is the water is in essence driving the fish down toward the turbines.
In an effort to reduce losses, the Army Corps of Engineers has installed a number of structures to protect fish, including fish screens.
Submerged traveling screens. They are large structures that slide down in the upstream side of the dam, and then they angle out, and then they have a motor on them. The fish come down, catch the current, and then they're directed into a bypass system. The bypass system simply is water flowing around the structure rather than through the structure, and then they're deposited downstream.
Fish ladder is a path that allows you to go around the dam. You get fish waiting down at the bottom for a chance to get up, and they're using up their energy there, and then they have 20 or 30 miles of slackwater lake to swim through.
When I first got to this project in the early 1980s, hydropower was king. If something interfered with hydropower, we didn't do it. Now, fish is king. And if it interferes with fish, we don't do it. If that means shutting off a powerhouse, that means shutting off a powerhouse.
It's habitat creation during those high flows. When you actually have a river depositing organic matter, creating this variety of habitats, it opens up new habitat for all kinds of species to explore, not just fish.
When you take out the variation in a river's flow, the fish and the bugs, they start to fade away. They're not getting the temperature cues and the volume cues that they need to complete their life cycles.
Water held in a large dam's reservoir stratifies, altering the temperature and chemistry of the water in the river below.
The water in a natural river is highly oxygenated, and it's roiling around. And when that river is dammed, you're basically changing this highly oxygen water into a slackwater lake where the oxygen levels on top are bound to be very low and probably lower underneath, which is fine for lake fish, but not for riverine species.
Some of these river fish, like salmon, are vital food sources for humans, and water conditions at dams contribute to their declining numbers. Today, U.S. salmon populations are a mere 6% of their historic levels. But there may be a technological solution to this oxygen-depleted water.
We've developed hollow turbine blades. Normal turbines are made of a big cast steel component and they're solid, but utilizing these hollow turbine blade designs, we're able to draw air into the turbine in a cloud of small bubbles. They pass oxygen from the air bubbles into the water and therefore increase the dissolved oxygen in the water downstream of the dam. And that's great for fish.